Good day, everyone. Welcome to our podcast about small businesses. And this podcast is for our entrepreneurial course. And today we are joined by our friends, namely Daniela, Jessica, Brent, Renz, Sunny, and Jenny. So, what is a small business? Small businesses are a business which function on a small scale level, involves less capital investment, less number of labor, and fewer machines to operate is known as a small business. The upside of small businesses are small businesses are usually owned and managed by single proprietors. They often have a very limited reach, but they utilize local and immediately available resources. Small businesses are often labor intensive, as it relies on the manpower more than the technology available to it. Small businesses are spurs or breeding ground of innovation. It checks monopoly by providing product choices, creates employment for the locality, and empowers people. Small businesses contribute to the gross domestic product of the country and usually has a higher financial performance than bigger companies. It makes big businesses dependent. It also develops risk takers and fosters flexibility. It also provides opportune grounds for women and is the seedbed for new ventures. It is usually a career for new graduates since ease of entry is also one of its strengths. However, there's also a downside for small businesses, and most small businesses fail because of inadequate management, shortage of capital, lack of balance, unabated entry, lack of business experience, or being a part of a non-business family background, fraud or disaster, insufficient inventory turnover, improper markup, wrong business location, poor credit granting practice or pagpapautang, neglect, too much investment on fixed assets, marketing inefficiency, inefficient succession, and lack of planning. There are other reasons why businesses fail. This is not limited to what is said in the video, but these are the most common reasons for failure of small businesses. Welcome back to our podcast. In our podcast, we'll be asking everybody, we'll be having an open forum about our past experiences about having, managing, or having been part of a small business. So, me and Brent and Jessica had experiences in doing business ourselves, and our other friends have been part of other small businesses. How about you, Renz? What's your experience relating to a small businesses?
So, as for my experience, my family owns a convenience store. So, the struggle for us is the manpower, the lack of capital, and the lack of management. But we've conquered these struggles, especially the proper management. That is why our business is still running until now, and it is successful.
Where is your convenience store located?
It is located on 7.
Do they have any employees in the convenience store, or it's family related?
We have a few employees since we are a small business, and the family manage it properly. That's why it runs smoothly and no problems.
Okay, so next, who would like to share their small business experience? Actually, I would like Jessica to share her experience because during the pandemic, she told us that you have started a clothing brand, online ukay. Yes. Okay. So online ukay. What do we call that now in English? Thrift shop. Online thrift shop. So I think this would be a wonderful story because I really like the story of how they started and how they developed their business during the pandemic time, showing the adaptability and the flexibility of young entrepreneurs, no? During adverse challenges like COVID-19 tayo. Jessica, take it away.
Ano naman kwento? So, it was night time, and then we agreed together that okay, let's go and do the online selling.
So by that time, I believe online selling was becoming a trend, right?
Not yet.
Not yet becoming
Not
a
yet,
trend. So
yeah.
during the pandemic,
It was very rare that time.
so you're one of the early starters of that online
I think
selling
so.
business.
I think so.
Okay, so
Okay, so at first I was what do you call that one? I'm not inspired or motivated to continue it because when I was flexing all the clothes, like no one was commenting and no one was watching. It's only about 3 to 5 persons.
Yeah.
So I was like, should we stop? And then my
So
sister.
you feel discouragement that
Yes.
time?
Yes, of course, of course. So I told my sister, let's stop. And then she told me, no, let's just continue. So we continued it, and then successfully, what do you call this one? We sold like 20 pieces of our clothes that
Oh,
time.
that's amazing.
that's amazing. No, that's actually kidding aside. That's actually amazing for a small starting business, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
initially, when you start streaming, have you ever tried streaming, Brent?
Yes.
If you start streaming, it's very difficult to get the grip on having your viewers
Viewers.
stay on your stream. And so, if you sold 20 on your first day, wow.
That's wonderful.
But the prices are very low. It's just about for 10 pesos to 20 pesos.
I think that's good for in terms of bargain price, diba? There we have it for Jessica. So hopefully that would be an inspiration for us to be, what do we call this again? Flexible and adaptable in the changes in our society or our environment. I would actually want to relate Brent's other business ventures online. So since we're on the online field right now, I think this is a very good opportunity for us to talk a bit about online piloting, since you have
Pilot services.
online pilot services. Back from our short break, no? Sorry Brent, but please repeat. How does piloting services and how did you make money doing piloting services?
Okay, I did piloting services back in 2023, last year.
2023.
Yes, because gaming community has like reached over the moon, bro. If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
It exploded, skyrocketed.
I was one
Especially-
of those people, man.
Yes, man. And what I do is actually I considered it as a small business since I actually only operate in my room.
Yeah.
And what I do is that I find clients all over the internet, especially using VPN, to be able to communicate to other people from other countries. And which is why the money that I make is actually bigger than actually what you can actually have here in our country,
Yeah.
right? So how does that work is that there's a lot of people that are actually playing games but have no time to play games, especially when it comes to MMORPG. Oh, man.
That's multimedia, multiplayer, role-playing games.
Yes, and actually, that stuff is actually related to crypto.
Mhm.
That's why they actually play that game. Crypto, right?
Yeah.
And what I do is actually offer I actually offer them that I would be able to play the game that they wanted me to play, especially when it comes to the game specifics. And I just offer them money, the amount of how much do I need when it comes to finishing the things that they want me to
Quest,
finish.
yeah.
And that's how I actually make money out of piloting service. In which I started this back when I was a kid, 2020.
Now Sunny will be sharing his experience about their Sari Sari store. So Sunny, how's the Sari Sari store going?
It's been well so far. It has its ups and downs, and we had a bad experience about lack of security because
A lot of people trying to steal from the store.
Yeah, and it's partly because you said earlier, you told us earlier that So you also told us that your father is the store clerk, store manager there. Is he?
Yeah.
Right? So what happens? What's your biggest issue with security when he's there, or do you have any security issues when he's there, or the problem only happens when someone is absent?
No one is watching the story.
Yeah, no one is watching the store.
Well, usually it often happens when
I think it actually happens at night mostly for me because nobody buys a store when it comes to the certain time, right?
Yeah. No, I think no one is dumb enough to steal from a store
No more.
during the morning.
You could actually, if actually the store is actually wide.
So have you tried changing your locks or putting up fences on your store?
yeah, we tried doing that, but still meron pa rin.
I think the thieves in their town are just very persistent.
Consistent talaga.
So let's try and avoid that. I think Sunny will be living in his sari-sari store for a while until he gets a new employee for his store. So let's move on to Daniela, who will be joining us in a second. Let's just interrupt this video for our sponsor, Sir Edward. How to be like Sir Edward? Study for 4 years.
Ayoko to, wala na akong oras. Wala na akong oras, pre.
Hindi ka graduate ka naman muna.
Yes, sir.
Kailangan mo graduate ng college bago ka makapag-law school.
Bachelor's degree mo rin ba? Anong kinuha niyo sir? Initial? Marketing. Sa marketing sir. Di ba sir sa marketing Siyempre, basically, ikaw yung nagtuturo sir ng mga magiging future businessmen. Ano yung mga naging past experiences mo sa engagement sa small or medium enterprise, if there are any?
Engagement. Well, yung family ko, they are engaged in small businesses. Doon sa mga vegetables, so yun yung mga engagement ko. Tapos ako dyan, yung mga trainings din. Tapos ngayon sa practice yung clients ko.
So, nag-law ka talaga sir na yung source of income mo talaga sa pagiging attorney at saka teaching. Any investment sa sir? Real estate?
I don't have real estate properties yet. I don't especially yung Baguio, medyo challenging. Kailangan patipunan talaga.
Pero pag mag-invest ka man sa real estate or sa lupa sir, saan?
Baguio.
Why? Bakit?
Marami kasi may gusto punta dito. Or in other places here in Benguet because we have a lot of tourist spots.
What do you think will solve the problem of traffic dito sa Baguio sir?
Train, cable cars.
Ayan, salamat. There we have it, Sir Edward. Maraming salamat po. Okay, so next. To see the full uncut video of our podcast, please don't forget to subscribe.